Hey everyone, Pastor George here, coming to you on this Tuesday, and man, another day for the Supreme Court. This is what I love. I love being able to talk about this type of stuff, and I'm sure that you're thinking about the leak that recently happened in the news. That's not what I'm going to talk about today. That decision hasn't been decided yet, despite what things on the media might say. There actually hasn't been a decision yet. So what was leaked could be what happens, could not be what happens. So either if you're rejoicing or if you're freaking out, don't do that yet because you really won't really find out until the court actually gives this decision. What was leaked was a draft. So it could be that, it could be something else. So everyone needs to calm down until we actually get a real decision from the court. And then you guys can react as felt. No, what I'm going to talk about is a religious freedom case that was decided yesterday, Monday, by the Supreme Court. And this had to do with something that I know our church has and many other churches have, which is the Christian flag. So up here is the town hall of the city of Boston, and you can see how utterly ugly it is. Whoever invented brutalism as a style needs to be punished and placed in a place where there is weeping and gnashing of teeth. But that is the City Hall of Boston. I know you think historical city, you must think, oh, well, they must have a beautiful building. No, it's ugly. Regardless, you see those flag poles next to it, right? You have the American flag, the Massachusetts flag, and then you have the City of Boston flag. But you also have certain things that happen at this town hall, and one of the things that will happen at this town hall from time to time is that the third flag will be lowered, the City of Boston flag, and replaced will be a flag that is representing some group of the city that has taken that space in order to celebrate and point out their contributions to city government. So you got lots of different ethnic groups that do this type of thing. You've had pride flags there. And a few years ago, a Christian group attempted to put up the Christian flag there because they were having a time of memorial and remembrance for that. So to celebrate Christian contributions to the city of Boston. Well, the city of Boston said no, right? Unlike maybe those ethnic flags or the pride flag or whatever, this is a religious flag. And if they were to put it up, then it would violate the Constitution's establishment clause, right? That the government cannot support any certain religion. Well, the Christian group sued, and it made its way to the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court heard this decision, and it was a unanimous decision that the city of Boston violated this group's First Amendment rights by refusing to allow them to put the flag up. This is kind of interesting, right? Well, one, most of us in the United States, you don't follow the court, probably think that the court is always super divided, right? Because you have hot button things that come out like this opinion, or ones in the past where it's a divided court and a lot of people are make it very political and things like that. But actually, the majority of court cases are pretty one-sided and usually very sometimes eclectic about who votes for which side. So you could see someone like Clarence Thomas who's more conservative, voting with someone who's Sotomayor, who's considered the most liberal justice on the court, right? And that happens all the time. We usually just don't see that because it requires looking at all these cases that aren't as exciting to normal people, right? Or aren't as politically charged as some other things are. So this is an interesting one. So obviously, as someone who's big on freedom of religion, I love this. I think this is the correct decision from the court. And I don't even have to pretend to support any other side because everyone agrees with me. But just to troublemaker, right, a little bit, just to kind of get our noggins jogging, what can any city government say no to a certain type of flag? And the answer is yes. They just need to have standards. So Boston had allowed anything, and as soon as the Christian group wanted to, they said, no, you can't do that. What the Supreme Court requires is a neutral law be put in place, right? That would make sure that anyone who would come would face the same sort of legal barrier. And so you can't just support one thing and not support the other without having some sort of law put in place to do that. And then if someone thinks it's unconstitutional, they can sue again. But just doing it willy-nilly like this whatever. The funny thing about this to me, and for those of you who know me, is I'm not a big fan of flags in the sanctuary generally. I allow them for all of you as a dispensation and because they've been here in the church for a very long time. But they're not really my thing. I don't really like the blend of those things together. And the Christian flag's okay, I guess. But I do think that this is a big win for religious freedom in the United States. And I think as Christians, regardless of denomination and personal feeling, we should all be for religious freedom, especially as Protestants. Because even if we disagree with someone's interpretation or their faith, their whole faith altogether, we know that this can lead to a great amount of persecution and punishment. So I think that this is a good win for us and should remind us to be vigilant and not only to support people of our own faith when they are encountering government pushback, which will happen from time to time, but also people of other faiths in order to make sure, that we can live in a country where we are able to worship and practice freely, regardless of where we are. So I think this is great. I will maybe someday comment on what just came out, but I probably will give this a clickbaity title in order to get more of you to click on it. But yeah, I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you not tomorrow. There is no Bible study tomorrow, remember that, but Thursday for our next mailbag. Peace out.